Hello everyone, this is part 2 of chapter 11, Rebels and the Raj. So in the first part we discussed that what was the revolt of 1857, what were the different causes of that revolt. तो हमने देखा that the revolt was a manifestation of the dissatisfaction which was created among Indians because of the rule of the Britishers. Further, it was also a result of a 100-year-long oppression on the people of India. So what were the reasons of this oppression? तो हमने देखा that the Britishers they were introducing policies which were extremely disadvantageous to Indians, and they were taking certain steps because of which Indians feared that their traditional culture would be completely eroded and the Britishers would impose their own culture on them. So people came to realize that the Britishers they are trying to gain control over the entire territory of the Indian subcontinent, and therefore in order to prevent something like this from happening, the people decided to rise in revolt. So in this video, we'll be seeing an example of how the Britishers were gaining control of Indian territories. तो हम example लेंगे of Awadh. Awadh is a place in North India, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, and Awadh was also referred to as the heart of North India. So in 1851, Lord Dalhousie, who was the Governor General at that time, he said that Awadh is a cherry that will drop in our mouth one day. And within 5 years, the Britishers were able to formally annex the territory of Awadh. अब ये जो annexation हुई, this was not something which happened suddenly. It goes back to 1801. तो 1801 में the system of subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh. So now let us discuss what was this system of subsidiary alliance. So this system was introduced by Lord Wellesley in 1798. So ally is a friend. Alliance का मतलब होता है an agreement or union between two parties for mutual benefit. However, in the system of subsidiary alliance, only one party was being benefited, that is the Britishers. Now let us see what was this system all about. So in subsidiary alliance, all those who entered into such an alliance with the Britishers had to accept certain terms and conditions. So in British India, there were certain territories which were directly under the control of the Britishers. But कुछ territories, for example the princely states, ऐसी भी थी जो अभी भी Indian kings ही rule करते थे. तो इन states में which were not directly under the control of Britishers introduced certain policies, certain laws so that वो उसको indirectly govern कर सकें and धीरे धीरे उसको directly भी annex कर सकें. So one such policy, one such example was the subsidiary alliance system. तो इसमें जो भी Indian kingdom entered into an alliance with the Britishers had to accept certain terms and conditions. अब ये terms and conditions क्या थी? So the first one was that the Britishers would be responsible for protecting them from internal and external threats. राइट तो जो भी किंगडम एंटर करेगा इस पर्टिकुलर अलायंस में उसकी सिक्योरिटी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वुड बी इन दी हैंड्स ऑफ द ब्रिटिशर्स. राइट देन इस प्रोटेक्शन के लिए आर्म्ड कंटिंजेंट्स की भी ज़रूरत है. तो जो ब्रिटिश आर्म्ड कंटिंजेंट हैं वो स्टेशन किए जाएंगे इन दी टेरिटरी ऑफ द अलाई. तो वो उस इंडियन किंगडम की ही टेरिटरी में स्टेशन किए जाएंगे ब्रिटिश आर्म्ड कंटिंजेंट. Then thirdly, the ally would provide resources for maintaining the contingent. अब contingent Britishers का है, but उसकी जो maintenance की responsibility है वो किसकी है? The Indian Kingdom. तो जो भी उसकी costs हैं, जो भी उसके लिए resources चाहिए वो कौन provide करेगा? The Indian Kingdom. And lastly, if that Indian king had to enter into agreements with other states or had to go on war with other states, उसके लिए the permission of the Britishers was required. So if you see, if all these conditions are satisfied, तो जो sovereign है, जो king है, वो sovereign तो रहा ही नहीं, right? Because sovereignty का मतलब क्या होता है? That the king or the sovereign should not be under the control of any other person or any other body. But through this system, the sovereigns were merely reduced to puppets in the hands of the British government. तो 1801 में जब ये subsidiary alliance impose किया गया on Awadh, what happened was that the Nawab of Awadh had to disband his military force, right? उसको अपनी military force disband करनी पड़ी and allow Britishers to position troops within the kingdom, right? Then he also had to act in accordance with the advice of the British resident. तो British resident was in office of a representative of the Governor General. तो जो areas Britishers के direct control में नहीं थे वहाँ पे गवर्नर जनरल के एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को भेजा जाता था, एंड दिस रिप्रेजेंटेटिव वॉज नोन एज द ब्रिटिश रेजिडेंट। तो ब्रिटिश रेजिडेंट की एडवाइस पे ही द किंग हैड टू एक्ट। Further, the king could no longer exert his control over the subjects or over the chiefs or the tribals who were revolting against the king. Further, he was heavily dependent on the Britishers to maintain law and order. तो if we see जो किंग के काम हैं वो कौन कर रही है? द ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी। तो इनडायरेक्टली अवध वॉज बीइंग रूल्ड बाय द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ओनली। Now, अब the question is, why were the Britishers interested in the territory of Awadh? तो इसके दो prominent reasons हैं. The first one was that they considered the area of Awadh, the territory of Awadh, to be suitable for the cultivation of indigo and cotton. तो indigo and cotton were the two commercial crops जिनसे ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को ट्रेड करके काफ़ी ज़्यादा बेनिफिट, काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट मिलता था. So that is why they wanted to gain control over Awadh. And the second reason was that the Britishers were trying to expand their control throughout the territory of Indian subcontinent. So the annexation of Awadh would complete the process of territorial annexation. So अब we've seen how the Britishers had established their indirect control over Awadh. Now let us see how it was formally annexed, and most importantly, what were the consequences of this annexation. So Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was dethroned and exiled to Calcutta. That is, he was removed to power and sent to Calcutta. The reason for this was misgovernance. So the Britishers said that he was not being able to govern the territory of Awadh properly, as a result of which he was removed from power. But Britishers की यहाँ पे गलती हो गई that they wrongly assumed that the ruler Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was unpopular among the people. तो उनको लगा that he was not popular, however he was extremely liked by the general public. So as a result of which there was widespread sense of grief and loss, and people started coming out in protest against the British government. तो नवाब के रिमूवल से इमोशनल अपहीवल तो था ही, देयर वर मटेरियल लॉसेस एज वेल. तो अब मटेरियल लॉसेस कैसे? सो व्हेन द नवाब वाज रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम पावर, तो उनके साथ उनका जो कोर्ट था दैट ऑल्सो केम टू एन एंड. तो अब कोर्ट में देयर आर अ नंबर ऑफ पीपल. For example, there are administrative officials, there are musicians, artisans, dancers, and so on. तो वो सब came to an end, as a result of which large majority of people lost their jobs, lost their source of livelihood. तो ये जो emotional upheaval था, that was aggravated, that was increased by these immediate material losses. So now let us discuss the topic Firangi Raj and the end of a world. So people started associating Firangi Raj with the end of their world. So end of their world meant the breakdown of their traditional culture and the social order which was prevalent in the Indian society. So the social order was completely broken down. वो कैसे? सिर्फ नवाब की ही डिस्प्लेसमेंट नहीं हुई थी, there were other people also who were dispossessed of their power. तो जैसे हमने पढ़ा था इन दी 10th चैप्टर हाउ द ज़मींदार्स दे वर स्ट्रिप्ड ऑफ देयर पावर्स, उसी तरह से द तलुकदार्स who just like zamindars were officials who collected rent from the peasants, they were also displaced. So the talukdars were also an important social class in the hierarchy of Indian society. So the talukdars, they had considerable power, they controlled land, they had power, they built forts, they even maintained armed contingents. तो जैसे हमने ज़मींदार्स के केस में पढ़ा था कि उनके पास काफ़ी ज़्यादा पावर थी, उसी तरह तालुकदार्स के पास भी काफ़ी पावर थी. ब्रिटिशर्स ट्राइड टू रिमूव दीज तालुकदार्स. तो ब्रिटिशर्स की पावर को कौन थ्रेटन कर रहा था? द नवाब, जिसको वो ऑलरेडी रिमूव कर चुके थे. अब उनको सोर्सेज ऑफ थ्रेट क्या क्या थे? द पीपल हु वर एक्सरसाइजिंग पावर, हु हैड द सपोर्ट ऑफ द कॉमन पीपल. वो कौन थे? द एरिस्टोक्रेटिक ब्रांच, राइट? पीपल हु हैड कंसिडरेबल पावर एंड रिसोर्सेज एट देयर डिस्पोजल्स, जिसमें से एक थे तालुकदार्स. तो ब्रिटिशर्स ऑब्वियसली ट्राइड टू स्ट्रिप देम ऑफ देयर पावर एज वेल. So how did the Britishers do this? तो Britishers introduced the land revenue policy, जिसमें उन्होंने summary settlement system को introduce किया in the year 1856. So this system was based on the assumption that the Talukdars had established the control over land and other resources through force and fraud. तो उनके according Talukdars के पास आज जो भी power है that is because of force या fraud. एज अ रिज़ल्ट ऑफ विच उनके पास ये लैंड का या रिसोर्स का कंट्रोल नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज देव एक्वायर्ड दैट थिंग थ्रू इलीगल means. तो अब जब उन्होंने तलुकदार्स की पार भी छीन ली तो इट लेड टू कंप्लीट ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ द सोशल ऑर्डर, राइट, बिकॉज ऑल्दो जो तलुकदार्स थे दे यूज टू चार्ज हाई रेंट, दे यूज टू चार्ज हाई रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फ्रॉम दीज पीजेंट्स, तो एक तरह से वो ऑप्रेस करते थे पीजेंट्स को. हाउएवर द पीजेंट्स दे यूज टू कंसिडर देम एज फादर फिगर्स एज वेल, बिकॉज जब भी पीजेंट्स को कोई प्रॉब्लम आती थी तो द पीजेंट्स यूज टू टर्न टू दीज तलुकदार्स एंड जमींदार्स ओनली, राइट. हमने पिछले चैप्टर में भी इसके बारे में पढ़ा था दैट ज़मींदार्स एंड पीजेंट्स के बीच में हमेशा नेगेटिव रिलेशन ही नहीं होता था, इट ऑल्सो हैड अ पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट टू इट. तो अब जब तलुकदार्स को कम्प्लीटली रिमूव कर दिया गया सो इट लेड टू ह्यूज एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ पीजेंट्स. दिस वॉज बिकॉज ऑफ अ नंबर ऑफ रीजन्स, सम ऑफ विच आर ओवर असेसमेंट ऑफ रेवेन्यू, देन इनफ्लेक्सिबल मेथड्स ऑफ कलेक्शन ऑफ रेवेन्यू. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल पहले क्या होता था, अगर पीजेंट्स वर नॉट एबल टू pay revenue to the talukdars used to give them some sort of a leverage. जैसे सपोज क्रॉप फेलियर हो गया तो दे यूज टू पोस्टपोन द कलेक्शन ऑफ रेवेन्यू एंड सो ऑन. बट इन द केस ऑफ ब्रिटिशर्स ऐसा नहीं होता था. दे हैड इनफ्लेक्सिबल मेथड्स ऑफ कलेक्शन ऑफ रेवेन्यू विच मेंट नो लिवरेज एट ऑल, राइट. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस देयर वॉज रिवोल्ट बाय द talukdars and the peasants. So the Talukdars and peasants of Awadh joined Begum Hazrat Mahal in Lucknow to fight the Britishers. So Begum Hazrat Mahal was the second wife of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. तो अवध में जो रिवोल्ट हो रहा था उसमें there were Talukdars, there were peasants and there were sepoys as well. तो अब सिपॉयज़ के केस में इनिशियली दैट इज़ इन 1820s देयर वर फ्रेंडली रिलेशंस विद द ऑफिसर्स. तो द सिपॉयज़ दे हैड फ्रेंडली रिलेशन विद द ब्रिटिश ऑफिशियल्स. बट धीरे धीरे in 1840s there was a drastic change in the attitude of these officials. So the British officials, they developed a sense of superiority. They considered Indians to be racially inferior, as a result of which they used to abuse these sepoys. They used to resort to physical violence, and there was even a sense of suspicion which was growing between the officials and the sepoys. So the incident of greased cartridges is the best example here. तो इस तरह से the revolt was joined by a number of people, be it the Indian rulers, the Talukdars, the peasants, the sepoys and so on. Also there were close links between the sepoys and rural India. अब वो इसलिए ये जो sepoys या soldiers हैं ये कहाँ से आते हैं, ये majorly rural India से ही आते हैं. तो जब सोल्जर्स ने देखा कि ब्रिटिशर्स किस तरह से उनके विलेजेस को टेक ओवर कर रहे हैं, सो फियर ऑल्सो स्प्रेड अमंग दीज सिपॉय लाइन्स. Also one important point here is that Awadh was considered as the nursery of Bengal army. So this statement is also given to prove the fact that the sepoys, they were drawn from the villages. So this is how the revolt was not restricted to a particular group, a particular caste, but it was joined by people from diverse backgrounds. Right, so this is all about the topic of the revolt in Awadh. Now let us move on to the third topic, which is what the rebels wanted. So the Britishers regarded rebels as ungrateful and barbaric people. Barbaric का मतलब होता है uncivilized, right? तो अब हमें ब्रिटिशर्स के साइड की स्टोरी तो पता है बिकॉज दे हैव डॉक्यूमेंटेड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग विच दे वर डूइंग, द पॉलिसीज विच दे वर फ्रेमिंग एंड द स्टेप्स विच दे वर टेकिंग इन ऑर्डर टू एक्सपैंड देयर एम्पायर, बट वी डू नॉट नो द साइड ऑफ रिबेल्स. तो ना तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने कुछ पॉजिटिव लिखा अबाउट द रिबेल्स, ना ही रिबेल्स के पास कोई रिसोर्सेज थे जिससे वो अपने थाट्स, अपने पर्सपेक्टिव्स को डॉक्यूमेंट कर सकें. And most importantly, majority of the rebels, they were not literate. As a result of all this, we lack the sources to understand the perspective of the rebels. Then the rebels used proclamations and ishtihars to spread their ideas and to persuade people to join the revolt. तो अब इन proclamations और इश्तिहार से हमें क्या क्या पता चलता है? First of all, these proclamations appealed to all sections of the society. तो ऐसा नहीं था that these proclamations were only targeted to a particular caste or a particular group of people. Everyone was able to relate or resonate with what was said in these proclamations. Although हर किसी के reasons अलग थे इन proclamations के साथ associate होने के लिए, but all of them had this one idea in mind that they wanted to end this imperialism. Also, the idea of Hindu-Muslim unity is very important when we talk about the revolt of 1857. So Britishers tried a lot to divide Hindus and Muslims. कई instances ऐसे भी हैं जहाँ पे Britishers used money in order to incite one community against other, but this was not possible. ठीक है. So the Britishers had to face a united opposition. Further, the people wanted restoration of the Mughal world because Mughal world उनके लिए एक ऐसा idea था जहाँ पे there was coexistence of different communities, right? There was not the kind of oppression which they were facing under the British rule. So with this idea in mind that they wanted to return to the golden days, that they wanted to live in the traditional way, they participated in the revolt. Then these people wanted an egalitarian society, that is ऐसी society जहाँ पे everyone is equal, there is no discrimination or oppression. These people also revolted against the oppressive elites. So people were destroying everything which was related to the Firangi Raj. तो ऑप्रेसिव एलिट्स ऑल्दो इंडियंस भी इसमें इंक्लूड होते हैं, बट जो ये इंडियंस हैं पीपल कंसिडर्ड देम टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद द ब्रिटिशर्स. उनको लगा दैट दे आर वर्किंग फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द ब्रिटिशर्स, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ विच दीज पीपल ऑल्सो बिकेम अ सब्जेक्ट ऑफ रॉथ बाय दीज protesters. Then these rebels, they propagated the ideas of Swaraj and Swadeshi, that is self-rule and social boycott of the British goods. So although these terms were not used, but the idea was there, right? Because according to these rebels, the Britishers had totally destroyed the commercial as well as the manufacturing sector of India and has brought ruins to the economy of India, right? So people wanted this rule to end. Then one important thing is that different groups demanded different things. This was also one of the reasons why the revolt of 1857 turned to be a failure. तब इसको समझने के लिए लेट अस टेक एग्जांपल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल द क्लास ऑफ जमींदार्स, दे वांटेड रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ द ओल्ड जमींदारी राइट्स, दे वांटेड डिग्निटी, ऑनर एंड द सेम लेवल ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट विच दे वर हैविंग बिफोर द कमिंग ऑफ ब्रिटिशर्स, राइट? तो जिसके पास से जो चीज़ गई है दे वर फाइटिंग फॉर दैट. Similarly, the merchants, they wanted control over trade, control over fine and valuable goods, जो कि अब ब्रिटिशर्स के आने के बाद बिल्कुल उनके हाथ से चला गया था, right? Because Britishers के rule से there was complete destruction of the handicraft industry of India, there was no growth in the industrial sector and so on. Then the public servants, they wanted to have some sort of influence, they wanted to live a life of dignity and they did not want to be the puppets at the hands of the Britishers. Similarly, the artisans, they wanted the restoration of the kings because the kings provided patronage to the artisans. Then the sepoys wanted better pay, promotion and so on. Peasants wanted to have a life of dignity, they wanted to be free from any sort of oppression of land revenue and so on. तो हर सेक्ट की, हर ग्रुप की अलग अलग डिमांड्स थी for which they were fighting. So although जो सबका indirect aim था, that was to end the British rule, but since everyone was motivated by their own personal interests, this was one of the reasons why the revolt was not successful. Then we also see that the rebels, they were searching for an alternative center of power. तो अगर वो ब्रिटिशर्स को हटा देंगे, what would be in place of the Britishers? So we see examples of rebel leadership. जब rebels, they organized their own troops, जो कि प्लंडर करते थे, लूटते थे ब्रिटिशर्स को. Then they devised their own methods of revenue collection and so on. But still all of this was not successful because the Britishers were ultimately able to suppress all these institutions, all these centers of powers which were emerging. Right, so this is all for this topic and this is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching.